I'm calling him out. I'm going to call him out. John De La Rosa stood me up. He was supposed to friggin' show up today. This is the 17th time I asked him. This is the first time he actually said yes. And
he's not in prep. He's not in prep, right?
He said no. I mean, he stood me up. All right, series of telling us bodybuilding. What are we doing? Muscle talk. That's what we're doing.
Something like that.
Yeah, muscle talk. Me and Arntz was just getting into a deep conversation that will remain anonymous because has nothing to do with bodybuilding. and most people would take offense to. So
this is going to require diving a little deeper now.
Well, yeah. Anyway, yeah. So Dave Palumbo got suspended only for about a week. His channel didn't get taken down. He just can't put any new content up. And he's been live streaming on Facebook, on Instagram, on any other platform he can until then. But basically,
what did he do?
What happened was he put out a statement on Instagram. So I immediately made a video, which actually did pretty well. I got, like almost 5,000 views from it. Kind of, did really well. And then I messaged him to see if he would come on and talk about it, but he was sick. He wasn't feeling good or something like that. But basically, he told me that they were talking about the COVID vaccine stuff.
Right.
And I don't know the conversation. I don't know if somebody asked a question, but basically they were talking about COVID vaccine. What I'm sure, with that whole crew with John Romano and Greg Valentino, I'm sure they're anti COVID vaccine, right? And you could have your opinion. I don't really give a shit, but apparently it goes against the World Medical. I forgot actually. It goes against
guidelines.
Yeah, and YouTube basically says you can't go against the World Medical
WHO.
That's it. WHO. Yes, WHO. It goes against the WHO. And if it goes against WHO, then, YouTube can basically, penalize you, whether it's demonetization or suspension.
Were they arguing what the WHO recommended for the vaccine?
I don't know. It could possibly be just talking about maybe not getting the vaccine if there's another strand coming around. It could have been an anti-vaccine conversation. The thing with Dave is he does get into politics. He's got Roger Stone on his show all the time. Oh yeah, he's a regular. He's been on like a dozen times.
Roger Stone, the guy that got arrested for insurrection.
Yeah, he was on last week. He was on After Hours.
They asked for a presidential pardon.
Yeah.
After he tried to overthrow the government, that guy.
Yeah.
And then denied. Then they're like, "What are they arresting me for?" Like, I don't get it. What are they arresting us for? What did we do wrong?
I'll be honest with you. I don't know.
Stop Congress.
I don't know the story. I have no idea. I just know who Roger Stone is, but I don't know what he was arrested for. So I don't like passing comments on things I don't know about. But except surrogate mothers. But other than that, but they talk a lot about politics on there. With John Romano and Greg Valentino and Dave.
Well, dude, that's the new.
What's his name? Idi Amin is good friends. Idi Amin is Roger Stone's trainer.
Wonderful.
So he's always on. He's been on like a half a dozen times. Yeah.
Doing a good job.
Yeah. yeah. It looks great.
Okay.
So that's basically what happened. And he texted
So
me.
he turned into a political show?
No, they just talk random topics and whatever topic comes up. But the thing is, it's like bodybuilding is my only line of expertise, I guess you could say, right? I mean, for lack of a better term, I'm not as good as you or as good as Dave, but and it's relatively safe. I mean, you're not going to get, YouTube's not going to really come down on anybody, for a bodybuilding channel. I'm not saying that people shouldn't allowed to be people should be allowed to talk about whatever they want, right? But at the same time, it's a bodybuilding channel. I don't know but we veer off on different topics. Oh, speaking of different topics, actually, yeah, you know what? That's shitty. I mean, sometimes we veer off on different topics, and they shouldn't get shut down for it, or suspended or whatever. But it is what it is. Anyway, speaking of different topics, and then we'll get back to Dave. I'm rebroadcasting, and it's coming out Friday. Do you remember when we had Nick Walker on? It was me, you, Nick Walker, Carlos Thomas Jr., Nate Spear.
Yeah.
I'm rebroadcasting that because that was still on the old channel, and it popped up on my feed. So I'm rebroadcasting it. It was October 22nd, 2022. So almost a year ago.
Holy shit, that was a year ago?
Almost a year ago, yeah. And it's going to be on Friday because that was good because that's when we talked about, remember I had the stomach issue?
Yeah.
And I literally blew up my bathroom.
Yeah. You want to relive that again?
Yeah, well, it's coming. Yeah.
Right. It's coming. Yeah.
And
whether we like it or not, that asteroid's gonna hit home.
You ain't kidding. And that was the first podcast Nick did after him and Fuad split up.
Right.
Shit,
I can't believe it's been almost a year already.
Yeah. It'll be a year and about a month or so. Anyway, so Dave's been getting I didn't realize how many fans Dave really has. I mean, people love that show because I put up, a video about what happened, and I mean, I got over 4,000 views and over 100 comments, and 98% of them were positive on Dave's side. Only a couple of people, talked about Dave. I think one guy made a comment that, do you really think Dave dropped out of medical school? He probably failed out, like that kind of shit. There's always.
I was friends with Dave. I was in Dave's wedding party for his first wedding.
Really?
Yeah. And to my knowledge, what Dave always told me was that he left medical school.
Yeah, I heard the same thing. Yeah. And I mean, you could tell he's like super smart. He's like crazy smart.
Yeah, Dave's an intelligent guy. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Who was his first wife?
Barbara Moran.
Was she one of those girls we normally talk about?
No. I love Barbara. She was so I still kind of communicate with her on Facebook, here and there. No, it's not that. She's remarried. No, she's she's a full-time mom, and she always comments on my girls, and
yeah,
and we're just happy to see, because we came from the same time, and there was a lot of good in that time, and there was a lot of bad in that time also, and she was around, some of my darker times, and we're both just happy to see that we're doing well, and life is better to us now than it was.
That's fabulous. Thank you. That was very nice.
What?
That was a very nice sentiment. I like that. You and Bob, you and Bob, bro.
She's and to my understanding, I think she's still cordial with Dave and his new wife, and I don't think they both are where they need to be. It all worked out.
Yeah. And it's funny because anytime you think of a divorce, you always think a hostile divorce because 90% of them are hostile, right? But
and in the process, it might have been, but sooner or later, we all got to grow up.
You got to get past it, yeah.
Well, not just get past it, but sometimes a lot of people have problems with accountability. I think that's the biggest problem today is nobody's accountable for anything. And I could blame my ex-wife for a million different things. What went wrong in my marriage.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, whose fault it is? My fault.
No, I don't like her. You're my friend, so it's her fault.
No, it's my fault. I allowed it. It's no different than if you have a child who misbehaves. oh, the child's obnoxious. No, the parent doesn't take care of the child properly,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
or tolerates that person, tolerates that behavior.
Yeah. No, I agree with you 100%. You're 100% right.
So, I don't like pointing fingers, dude. So,
yeah. And I was actually I was with my therapist today because I'm fucking nuts and I need a therapist.
talk to him about what we talked about earlier. Fucking
Yeah, her actually,
some of that inner hatred.
And I was talking about being accountable, about how, you know, I made mistakes and I made decisions that impacted my life, did not in a good way, and you know, but you know, whatever, you know, it is what it is. You know, that's what therapists are for. Yeah, no, my therapist is a broad. It's not a guy.
Broad.
Yeah, it's
spoken like a true Italian. It's broad.
Yeah, she's a broad, Dr. Broad. That's what.
If you say that in public, I don't think half the generations now even know what the fuck that means, right? That's so from our time, dude.
You want to get even more? You want to get my father? My father, I'm gonna have to bleep this part out, but my father, we used to call a black girl a broad.
Wow. Yeah.
You're a sick bastard, Arntz. Anyway, yeah. So supposedly, I think he's coming back. I think he's going to be able to get back on RX Muscle this Friday. I think his suspension is only a week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, remember that picture I sent you of Nathan D'Ascia with the two bumps? Let me just bring it up so people know what I'm talking about, right? Where is here it is. Okay. So this is nothing new, apparently. Like if you go back and look at his old rear shots, he's always had this. When he won the New York Pro, at the Prague Pro, when he came in second to Rolly, he's always had this. Apparently it's some kind of calcium deposit.
It looks like cysts. It looks like two different cysts that are sitting there, and hopefully it's nothing to do with his kidneys or inflammation of the kidneys. But yeah, dude, it didn't look like it was injection sites.
Definitely, you wouldn't inject, and that doesn't make sense to inject there. That's yeah. I mean,
who said he had calcium deposits?
It was another YouTuber, apparently.
Well, they always tell.
But he showed the pictures, and the other it was Mark's Max Muscle. It's another YouTuber. He's actually always on my channel with me, and he actually showed the pictures from the New York Pro, Prague Pro, some of his other pro shows, and they've always been there. These two things. He looks like you know what it looks like. It looks like somebody put like a surgically implanted like a Nintendo Game Boy in his back.
So, dude, and the funny thing is, until you pointed it out, I never even noticed it before.
Yeah, nobody has until this time. Maybe it's getting worse as he gets older. But you know, when you see Hottie and his lats.
Yeah, I saw that.
You know, when you see Hottie and his lats, that's different. You could totally tell that's an injection spot, right? Is when he makes that, because it looks like a triangle. It looks ridiculous, you know, when he turns around. I mean, this was how long ago? 3 days ago, a week ago, whatever it is. He looks pretty damn good. So when he turns around and oh God, of course I get the one that he doesn't turn around. Anyway, I'm not gonna go crazy looking for it. But when he turns around, you could see it in his lat, right? Yeah, you could see it in his lap, and that's an injection spot, but that'll go away. I mean, it'll go down. So it is what it is. Oh, you like my shirt?
Dude, nice shirt.
Like
How's it feel?
It's good. It's nice. It's nice material. You know, I was a little worried that these things would come off when I washed it.
They don't come off, dude. You can wash them and put them in the dryer. They don't come off.
Maury's wigs don't come off.
Right.
But I got a bit of a bone to pick with you. Dream Chaser. Okay.
Yeah.
It says on the bottle of Dream Chaser, you know, promotes deep REM sleep. I think you should change that to coma. I was late to work twice this week. I slept right through my alarm clock.
Really?
I swear to God. And I'm taking a half a scoop.
Fuck, dude. How much sleep are you getting?
You know, I drink it, and then I wait till I get a little, you know, sleepy, and I go to bed. So maybe 11 o'clock, whatever, you know.
What time do I go?
And then I get my alarm clock goes off at 5:15.
So 6 hours.
Yeah, and then
I sleep. I mean, I usually wake up a little before, but within 6 or 7, dude, I'm up.
yeah, self-induced coma.
Well, dude, you might be sensitive to it. You might have those sensitive. You might be a real sensitive guy.
I am. I'm very sensitive. My nipples are extremely sensitive.
You're more sensitive than we think.
So if my wife wants to get me excited, she just grabs onto my nipples like a car battery.
Right. Take you right up.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Good from it?
Yeah, I swear to God, I was late twice to work.
Really?
Yeah, I swear to God. The first time it was like 20
a little earlier. Try to knock off half hour earlier.
Nah, you know. Yeah, I know, but I don't. I just think it just put me into a deep sleep. And you're right. Like if I get up to take a leak, I go right back to sleep.
Yeah.
So it's called Dream Chaser on I Prevail subs. And if anybody has trouble sleeping, just use that. Believe me.
Even if you don't have trouble sleeping, you just want better quality sleep. You want to recover better. I mean, that's why I created it. Not because I have insomnia. I wanted to sleep better so I could recover better, so I could perform better, so I could train better.
So even if you don't have a problem, even if you don't have a problem sleeping, you should still take it. Yeah. And that is exactly why the excuse why guys use Viagra. They don't have a problem with get an erection. They just want to get a better erection. Right. All 9 million guys that take it.
Oh, no problems at all. Just give me a bottle.
Yeah. I did take it once. I was like, when it first came out, and I was like 25. Viagra? Yeah. When I was thinking it was 25. It was out a little bit before that, but I was 25, and my friend wanted a vial of sus, and he had Viagra, and I was like, I'll trade you a vial of sus for Viagra. So he goes, it was a 50 gram Viagra, and I took it when I was 25, and it literally, I'm not exaggerating, I would take it on a Friday, and the effects lasted till Sunday, because back then I really didn't have a problem, right? So I would take it, and it would just be like the slightest touch, boom. And then I remember taking it, and I didn't know why I would get flushed in my face. I thought I had like allergies or something. I would get snow, so because I got a headache. I still.
I think I tried it. Same thing when it first came out years and years ago.
Yeah.
And I got a nasty headache from it, and I never took it again.
Yeah. And I still take it. I got a whole thing, a whole fucking bottle. Yeah. I take it when the time calls. When the calls, you want to be extra prepared. There are times when like coming soon. When you come off everything and and everything is real low for a couple of months, and you go, gotta.
All right.
What the hell is wrong with you, sicko?
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, now I gotta wait till I hear the comments on this one.
Right. See, that's big pharma pushing shit.
You're not kidding.
That is big pharma.
Yeah.
And I'll do you one better on big pharma. We're the only country in the world, and I mean this is the fact.
Yes.
We're the only country in the world that has commercials for pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, I believe there's actually there's two countries, us and another one. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Any new drug they want to push, they show a commercial. Yeah. So we go to our doctors and ask them if this is right for us.
Yeah. Ask you if your doctors don't you love the side effects?
Are you breathing? Do you get tired at night? Do you wake up in the morning? This is for you.
Yeah. Do you not want to wake up in the morning?
Right. Yeah.
Take Dream Chaser.
You ever feel sad? You ever feel emotions?
Yeah.
This is for you.
Yeah, take this. I'll make you
in case these
a zombie.
Don't work. we're going to put you on more antidepressants to counteract the effects you don't get from the good antidepressants.
I actually have another stat that's a big pharma stat that's insane. So almost nobody watches actual mainstream TV anymore, right?
I do.
Yeah, of course, you're an old man. But, but majority of people either watch streaming services, YouTube, other platforms, so on and so forth. Very few people watch Channel 4, Channel 7, so on and so forth, Channel 9, blah, 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 so on and so forth.
You gotta watch Survivor, Big Brother. How do you guys get by without watching Survivor?
Yeah, I don't watch Survivor, Big Brother. Yeah, I know. I literally never watch anything on regular TV. Anyway, so the majority of people that do watch, regular TV are over 55, over 50, over 55. Like my mother, I'll go to my mother's house and Fox News is blasting. She don't even know what's going on. She just has to have the news on, right? But anyway, normally that type of technology would be outdated immediately, because of between other platforms. But the number one advertising money for mainstream channels is pharmaceutical companies, and it's 70%.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying.
70%. So if they weren't giving the money, TV would be out of business.
And alcohol, all drugs, all fucking drugs, alcohol, pharmaceutical.
Right. Yeah. I don't remember the last time I saw a booze commercial.
Really?
Yeah.
All the Bud Light, the Coors, you don't see beer commercials?
I don't see any Bud Light commercials.
Not anymore.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
Yeah.
Smooth move, X-Lax.
Well, actually, now they're back. Now I think that's all. The NFL is having commercials with Bud Light now, so all is forgiven.
I don't know, man. They lost a shit ton of money. Anyway, we're supposed to be talking about bodybuilding, right? We're doing the Dave Palumbo thing. We're going to get suspended. I'm not even monetized yet, although we're getting close. That Dave Palumbo video.
I do this to give back.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. Although I'm not going to lie, the Dave Palumbo video, it brought on a lot of new subscribers, and I'm truthfully.
All right, so hold on. So whatever. So let's get to, he got kicked off, right? He got kicked off.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a temporary ban, right?
Yeah.
A week, and now he's just not allowed to put any new content up.
That's the channel's still there. She's not allowed to put any new content.
And supposedly it's a new rule, some sort of new rule they have. Yeah. So it wasn't something that he even knew of.
Right.
So what I did see is I saw his post saying that, but I don't even know what he said, right? But from what you said, it was something about going against the WHO, which, okay. But here's what I don't get.
Okay.
Here's what I really don't get. Is I saw the list, and it was like a mile long, of people that are commenting under his Instagram on how this is a communist country, how they're taking away freedom of speech. This has nothing to do with freedom of speech. You're on somebody else's, dude. It's like freedom of speech doesn't apply when you're in somebody else's house, and you can't shout fire in a crowded theater.
Right.
So people mistake freedom in this country as you could get to do and say whatever the fuck you want. That ain't fucking so, dude. Right. You're on YouTube's platform. You don't have to be on their platform, and go take your freedom of speech and go fucking scream on the subway.
Yeah.
But people get so uptight with this. They're taking away their freedoms. If you don't like what YouTube has to say, get the fuck off YouTube. And he's trying to. He's actually, I know he's talking about going on the old Twitter, which is X now, and doing some Bumble or something else, or Rumble.
Rumble.
Yeah. So,
well, listen, the thing is, YouTube, you can go on Rumble all day long. Okay. Rumble is the I don't know. What's the Canadian
stepchild?
Yeah. Rumble is the CFL to the NFL. Right.
All right. So, but my point is, if you want to be on YouTube,
right,
there's rules.
Yeah. The problem is you need a platform to speak out. That's the problem. And you've always,
but there's still rules.
Yeah, I understand, but you need a platform to speak out. So before, YouTube, it was, TV, and before TV, it was radio. Before radio, it was newspapers. And you've always needed a platform to speak out, so you can make that argument with all facets of, you know, technology when it comes to speaking or communication, so on and so forth. It seems there's a pattern. Okay, there's a pattern that once you speak out against what they don't want you to speak out to,
and I get that, and I do get
you
that
know,
argument.
if because you know, a great example. I'll give you a great example because I have to do the news. What's his name? Oh God, this guy was just accused of sexual harassment and grape. Can't say the word on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shit.
Yeah, what's his name? Hold on, I'll look it up. Hold on. It's
right Russell Brand.
Russell Brand, right. And you know, apparently these girls remain anonymous. I think only one didn't remain anonymous, 4 out of the 5 girls. It goes as far back as 2003, and there were no charges. There was just a documentary that I believe it was Channel 4. I don't remember, and then YouTube he had 6.6 million followers, and he just and you know what his commentary is like. Okay. The problem is at the same time, like literally within the same couple of months, you had Real Genius star Gabrielle Jarrett accuses of trying to meet 14-year-old girl. You have Timothy Schofield, who is Philip Schofield's brother, found guilty of sexually abusing a boy. Philip Schofield is a BBC commentator. You also have Hugh Edwards, who is a BBC. Hugh Edwards is, I think, he's the Guardian. Faces months of air as also with sexual harassment. And nobody knows about these guys, right? Nobody knows about these guys. And these are all underage, you know, diddling little boys, that kind of thing. But these guys stay in their lane, right? And then that's when you call bullshit, right? Because it just seems like the people that speak out against the elite, because he speaks out against Big Pharma and the military industrial complex and so on and so forth in the media. And he has a huge platform, 6.6 million YouTubers. I mean, after 1 million subscribers on YouTube, you get your own personal YouTube person to help you. And they did the same thing to Andrew Tate. They did the same thing to him, you know, and the list goes down. But, you know, and that's when you call bullshit. And so that's when it's a problem, because it's hypocrisy. So, you know, you could say YouTube, you know, take your shit and go somewhere else, but they're not throwing off the guys that are staying in their lane, right? I mean, you think guys like Dan Bilzerian or Leonardo DiCaprio or Tom Cruise have been getting pussy for 40 years. You think if you can't dig up somebody, that would be like, yeah, you know, he treated me wrong.
So when were these allegations about Russell Brand?
Russell Brand was like this week, like
when did these girls say it happened?
The further it was between 2003 2012, I'm pretty sure.
So you got to remember also, dude, and I like Russell Brand, but he wasn't always sober,
right?
He was a wild guy. Now the fact that he's outspoken, I get it. I get the argument, but we don't know if this is true or not.
100%, 100.
Russell Brand was a bit of a wild fucking person, dude.
100. I agree with you 100%. We don't know
and
for
Andrew
sure.
Tate was in the porn industry, dude.
Yeah.
So that's infamous.
Right.
But I don't know if he's guilty or innocent. I don't know. All I know is what I hear. But dude, I don't give a shit. It ain't my problem.
Yeah,
I hope it's not true.
I hope it's not true either. And the thing is, it becomes suspicious when you have other guys that are just as famous or hold positions of power, and they don't get called out. The media is not jumping on the Timothy Schofield or the Gabrielle Jarrett, or who's the other guy I named, Hugh Edwards. And this is just a few, you know, or won't read the list from the Epstein, flights, right? You know,
they read the list. They just won't do it. They don't do anything about it.
Yeah, right. And
they
didn't read the list. You gotta go look for it.
But the people testified and said who he was in contact with. Nothing's been done to any of them, dude.
Right, exactly. So then it becomes suspect. So then it's like, okay, so what happens? So then what happens is, right, because of the hypocrisy and the suspicion and so on and so forth, what happens is the girl that really did get raped or sexually harassed, now you're always doubting it. You're like, wait a minute, right? And between the girls that make up bullshit, between the girls that between the media trying to basically come after you because of what you say something, the girls that really get are assaulted. Now it's the reverse of Me Too. Now it's like you don't believe anybody until there's significant proof. But anyway, so that's that. I really wanted to talk about bodybuilding.
Well, you're not.
I know. All right. Let's talk about.
You must have all this pent up anger about these issues. They must be bothering you. And
no, I do the news on my other channel once a week with my friend, and I have to look up all this crap. So the one I was looking up beforehand was the surrogate mother one, and how California passed the law, and that's about paying surrogate mothers to hold children. Anyway, all right, we're getting off the topic. Anyway, I don't know. What do you want to talk about? Anyway, I'm calling him out. I'm going to call him out. John De La Rosa stood me up. He was supposed to friggin' show up today. This is the 17th time I asked him. This is the first time he actually said yes. And
he's not in prep, right?
He said no. I mean, he stood me up. He just came home from vacation. Well, not just, but he was on vacation with his wife or girlfriend or whatever.
Maybe they're still on vacation. Maybe they're still
no.
They're recovering.
They're recovering. Yeah. So he stood me up, but that's all right. I don't burn any bridges. It is what it is. So he was supposed to show up tonight. He did not, but that's okay because you and I have pretty good chemistry. And all right. So the Regan Grimes, and who was the other guy? Nathan Diaz. Yeah. It's a little bit of controversy. I covered it on my other video. People think Regan Grimes shouldn't have won because he didn't look really that much better than the Italy show, and they both really looked very much the same. Regan came in a little bit tighter, but not significantly tighter. So when they gave him first place, he was shocked. And when they gave Nathan Diaz second place, he was pissed.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So people are saying that, they want Regan Grimes at the Olympia. And
I don't blame him. He's an attraction,
He
has the way to do it, probably not. But again, dude, we weren't there.
Yeah, right.
There was a handful of people that were there. I heard that Regan probably looked a little better in prejudging, and if anything, he was ahead in points after prejudging. But then Nathan was clearly the more peaked and peeled athlete for the finals.
Right.
But dude,
there were other YouTubers that are like, no, that's not. It's all fair.
They weren't there either. They weren't there.
But the thing is, okay.
My point is, there's 9 other judges, and you can go to another show, and they might even have somebody ahead of Regan and Nathan. So it's completely subjective. I mean, you see a fight,
right?
You watch an MMA fight, and some of them look clearly unanimous to me, and they end up being split decisions.
Right. The problem is 1 week ago, Nathan beats Regan, and they come in like the same conditioning. I don't know if it's the same judges or not. And here's the conspiracy, and I kind of believe it. All right. I don't kind of believe it. Regan's got 1.9 million followers on Instagram alone. 1.9 million followers on Instagram alone. That's a huge social media following. You bet your ass they want him on an Olympia stage. That means that at the very least that means more streaming buys. At the very least, that means more streaming buys.
They qualified Kevin Levrone after 8 to 10 years of retirement.
Right.
Show. So, look, when it comes to the conspiracy theory of all this, and I kind of look, you can create a conspiracy theory for anything. right?
Oh yeah, of course.
But if they really wanted his 1.9 million followers, they would have given him the nod at the first show. Hey, let's lock him in now because who knows if he's worse at the next show. So we don't know.
Yeah,
But if you
but
really want to lock that in, and he looked better supposedly at the first show, they should have put him through that time.
yeah, yeah. I
But who knows?
honestly think that, you know, I think it was a conscious decision, maybe not in Italy, but in Spain the second time around. Like, all right, listen, Nathan's a qualified. It's close enough. Let's get Regan. That's another athlete on stage, because it's not that many open bodybuilders that are qualified, and two of them aren't going that are qualified. Ian
retired,
and Big Ramy's disappeared off the planet. I don't know what happened to him.
No, he's still doing it.
I have not heard anything that he's doing the Olympia this year. There is not one post in the last 3-4 months that he's doing the Olympia this year. You know, nothing.
I could be wrong.
And
I heard he was just being not posting anything.
I mean, I you know, if you might have better sources than I do, but
well, dude, I don't, you know, I got other shit going on. I don't look for this salt.
Yeah.
You know, I know.
I know. I should stay in my lane, right? Just talk bodybuilding and not surrogate mothers.
I'll tell you, all that talk, you know, and we were talking about it before, you know, when it comes to people talking politics and do you remember, like, when we were younger, right? Religion was much more apparent than it is now, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're Catholic, if you're this, if you're Jewish, if you're that, but everybody, they stuck to their religion, and everybody else, their God was fake, and nobody else had any credibility. Everything else was bullshit. It was just your religion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the Catholic religion, you know, was the dominant religion of those times.
Yeah.
Well, religion nowadays isn't as popular as it used to be.
Definitely not. Yeah.
But people still need something, right?
That's right. Well, that's what the first commandment is. That's what the first commandment means.
So, but my point is, politics for a lot of people
is their religion.
Turned into the new religion.
Absolutely.
And you're either this way and no other views, and you know, people can't even fathom looking at it from a different point of view. I try to be objective about everything. You know, the same way I am. I'm not religious. You know, the same way I am about religions and so. But politic talk has turned into that, and you get so many people that don't want to hear anything. They don't want to hear anything else. It's like it's my God, it's my people, it's my this, it's my news media. It's just, and it's separating people even more.
I agree completely, but I think they wanted Regan Grimes at the Olympia.
I agree with you too. However, I don't know if he was more deserving or less deserving at this show than the first show, because, and you got to remember something, dude. You know, and here's a great way to look at this. My daughters are soccer athletes. You know, I was at a soccer game today. I've had a couple all weekends. It's nonstop. You know what I mean? My view when I'm looking at the field, I see a million different things. My daughter's view on the field is completely different from mine. She doesn't see the gaps or the openings or the lanes that I see. Right. So we're looking at it from pictures, from videos, it's different from a judge's view. Yeah. And every judge sitting in those 9 to 11 chairs, depending on how many judges there are, all have a different view. But on top of that view, they all have a different opinion of what appeals to them. You might like blondes. This guy might like brunettes. This guy likes redhead, whatever. Hey, I like this guy. I don't really know why, but he's got blonde hair. I like his physique better. Okay. And you don't have an argument because that judge is paid to put down their score at the end of each round. So you have all these judges that are critiquing. Maybe, hey, I like Regan Grimes. You know, he's a better looking guy. He might be better for the Olympic. Who knows what the criteria is for that show? Better shape, better physique. Does Regan Grimes have a better physique? Yeah, he does. Was he as dialed and peeled as the other guy? Maybe not, right? But who knows what their criteria was, you know? Yeah. maybe their criteria is like, hey, look, dude, we want to be fair. Let's pick the best physique up there, and let's go for that.
Yeah,
So it is what it is. And people
yeah,
argue results of shows nonstop
I
and
know.
show after show on every level.
Well,
So
that's the other thing that it brings to the Olympia is the rubber match between Nathan and Regan, right? So people
I'll
be
tell you
talking about,
this. I'll tell you this. When you put 15 other guys in the mix up, there's going to
yeah,
be a gap between both of them.
yeah.
They
I
won't
said
be next to each other anymore.
they're not even one of the questions when I do Anabolic Academy is how do you think Regan and Nathan? And I was like, if they're lucky, the bottom 10, 9 or 10, if they're
Yeah,
lucky.
one could be ninth, and the other one could be 14th. Dude. Like that's
Yeah,
how
right.
everybody
Yeah,
thinks it's neck and neck in this show, but when you put them on the Olympia stage, it's going to be different.
different
And
ball
maybe
game.
one of them shines out better, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't like Nathan DeAsher because of those things on his lower back. Like it could be just like a guy with gyno. Hey, you hear they're marking this guy down because he has gyno. We don't like the way it looks.
Mm-hmm.
Until somebody explains that these may be calcium deposits or cysts, I don't know. That's just what we talked about. I don't know if that's true, so don't quote me on that.
Right. That's what I heard. Yeah.
But when you see it, it does look detracting,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It looks like a
Maybe
call
that
battery
drove-
terminals.
Well, dude, it's off, and maybe that's
Yeah.
enough for a couple judges to give the nod over, to Regan. Who the
Yeah.
fuck no? We can argue this till we're blue in the face, but we're not there. We're not them.
I understand
Have you ever
everything.
judged a show?
No, I have not.
Dude, it's no fucking day at the beach. I can tell you that. Dude.
Actually, I agree with you and I disagree with you, but I am going to move on to the next topic because you brought up something I did want to talk about and I totally forgot. And I wish I would have remembered or wrote it down. Is when a fan looks at bodybuilding shows, they look at it shot by shot and they compare shot by shot by shot. But that's not how you actually judge a bodybuilding show. Am I right?
What do you mean?
Have you ever judged a show before? How does the system work? Because that's one thing I don't know is how the judging system works.
So you have a criteria, and I haven't judged in a while, but you have your rounds, you have your symmetry rounds, you have the posing rounds, and you have the comparison rounds.
Mm-hmm.
And then the night show is supposed to account for something based upon their posing routine, how they are with the crowd, how they present themselves. So there's all these, you get a score for each one. Are you talking about how they compare physique wise, pose for pose?
No, the score itself. How is the scoring work on the paper itself?
So you're given let's say if there's 10 competitors, you put them in your placing from 1st to 10th.
But isn't there don't they?
Yeah, so they drop 2 highs and 2 lows.
Right. Okay.
But just in case there's any, let's say if somebody gets straight firsts, they're going to knock off 2 firsts and 2 firsts.
Okay.
If somebody gets, a couple thirds and a couple fourths and a couple firsts, they'll drop off the 2 firsts. They'll drop off the highest scores, 2 of them, and 2 of the lowest scores.
Okay.
Then they calculate your numbers, and that's your final number for each round.
Okay, but when you calculate your numbers, so the highest number, the lowest number is
the higher placing.
Okay. Then what is the job of the head judge?
They call out the comparisons. They kind of set the tone for the rest of the crew.
Mm-hmm.
They take advice. Hey, what do you guys want to see? What do you got to see? Because there can't be 9 mouths on a microphone.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So the head judge, he takes the notes. Hey, I want to see 5 next to 2. I want to see number 7 next to 3 and extra 5. So they put them all together based upon who everybody else wants to see, and they compare them. Hey, I like this guy over here. I like this guy over here, and I like this guy over here. Let's put these 3 together, and those are our top 3. That's what we come up with for a top 3.
Okay.
Let's bring this guy in and give him a shot. He looks good. He might not be first, but he's got a shot from 2nd to 4th. So they'll bump out the guy in first place. All right, you could go sit down, and we're going to call number 11 in also to take his place.
Okay. Now it makes I never actually knew how the numbers worked as far as judging. So now that makes sense. So basically it's pretty simple. It's just basically adding up the numbers and the one who you think is first.
But dude, it's tough because and I'll tell you, because
the system is easy, but I could imagine
the way they
it's
do
tough
it is
judging.
great. It's a good system. But the judging itself, dude, it's tough, dude, because you want to be as fair as possible. But sometimes, you know, you got to get this shit out, dude. These people, you know, it moves quick. So and you can't put everybody next to everybody. It just, you can't.
Right.
They don't have the energy and you don't have the fucking time, you know? So you got to get a good idea as a whole. And sometimes if somebody's deserving, all right, let's bring him up, put him in the top 5, see where he fares. And these two guys, you're up. Excuse me.
Is that Dream Chaser?
No, it's reverse osmosis water.
Oh,
but so they'll bump out those two guys.
Right.
Bring in another guy to see if he has a shot for the top 5.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. One of the nights I drank Dream Chaser, I was masturbating and I fell asleep with my dick in my hand. No, but it's funny. There was something else. Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you. I know you don't have a horse in the race anymore, so I'm gonna ask you used to judge a lot of
No, I judged a handful.
Oh, okay. Have you ever heard or have you ever witnessed one of the judges saying to another judge, hey, take a look at this guy, he's a friend of mine, or take a second look at that guy, he's related or whatever, belongs to this gym, or so on and so forth?
No.
Really? Because I have actually. I have.
So I've been on the panel a couple times. I've never heard that.
At my own show, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Somebody I knew that was judging said to somebody else, hey, take a look at this guy. He's a friend of mine. Take a second look at this guy. He's a friend of mine.
So they give him an extra shot?
Yeah. So there you go. See? Regan. 1.9 million fucking follows, bro.
Well, then everybody knows who Regan is. They don't need a judge to point that out. You know?
Corruption moves right up the ladder, man. No, but it really did. It really. I'm not going to say who, and I'm not going to say what contest, but I was looked at a second time because I knew one of the judges, and he said to the head judge,
"Well, dude, look, does that happen? Probably, you know what I mean? Yeah. But dude, you don't think Dana White bumped Brock Lesnar up in the rankings to get him to fucking do a pay-per-view to make money?
Yeah, I get it.
It happens in every sport, dude.
As long as we know that there is corruption in bodybuilding, that's all that's it. Come on, man. Good cop, bad cop. It'd be boring if we
agreed on anything. You work for a union, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I got my job.
Does anybody get a job on a union, or you got to know somebody?
You literally put on the paper. Like there's actually if you have any, it's literally when you apply, it says if you have family, it says if you have family, write their name down that works here. Yeah. Hey, listen.
How about that?
Oh, that's the way it goes, man. That's the way it goes. That's it. Well, I know back
draft, boxing, rankings, dude, gymnastics. Dude, this isn't you're talking like bodybuilding is any different from any other sport.
Yeah, I know. But that's just, there are some YouTubers, and I don't want to mention any names, but it rhymes with Dicks, Bank, and what rhymes with power?
Sour.
Dicks, Bank, and Sour. Basically, things, or basically just all, bodybuilding is sugar and spice and everything nice, and there's no no partiality, no corruption, nothing like that.
You can't. And look, I'm a promoter, dude. So this is really it's hard for me. I've never seen it at my show.
It doesn't happen at your show. I'm at your show every. Was it the show? No, it wasn't your show actually, because I did your show, but it wasn't yours.
Oh. No, dude, I've been to a million shows.
Yeah.
And look, we're in a small circle here, so you get competitors that know people from the gym, and dude, you're not going to avoid that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get to the higher levels, and this happened years ago. They actually removed a couple judges. This is back like in the early 2000s.
Really?
They removed a few judges because they were too close, for comfort with some of the guy competitors and girl competitors, figure competitors and whatnot. They didn't want them being judged. So if there was a conflict, those judges would be removed from the panel. Now,
Yeah.
look, if you want to really talk conspiracy, just because you're removed from the panel doesn't mean you can't put in somebody else's head, hey, look at my guy. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so removing somebody from the panel, which is what they did. However, you got to remember also, dude, it's a subjective sport. And the fact that I know you, right? And I'm judging you, dude, you're going to have an advantage anyway.
Mhm.
Regan Grimes, that's why when they select the jury, they don't want the jury to know anything about the case,
Right.
because it's human nature to come up with pre-existing notions.
I understand. I get it. You're very smart. 1.9 million followers. Million.
Good for him, dude.
Oh,
Dude,
shit.
one of those guys, but dude, he's one of those guys that people will go to. And you're forgetting that on top of this being a sport, it's
a
all
business.
still business. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just people. Yeah, yeah. No, I understand. I understand fully. And there was something else that I wanted to ask you too, and I totally forgot. It's just a bitch. I don't know. Yeah, I forgot about that one. But did you hear about LeBron?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
Dude, and it's funny, like you could relate this to bodybuilding and relate to all this. Dude, it's no different in any sport, dude. All these guys are jacked up, dude.
I
Like,
know.
what do you think? The NFL tests every athlete?
Yeah, right.
Come on,
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, I know. It's
The
ridiculous.
NBA, and to be honest, who gives a shit?
And I agree with you. I don't
Who
think
gives a shit?
Lance Armstrong should have had anything taken away from him, because the other guys were using it too.
Of course, dude. It's come on. You want to watch these guys perform?
Right.
You ever go to a natural bodybuilding show?
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's fucking horrible.
Right?
Yeah, it's terrible.
There's a reason they're not that popular.
Yeah, it's terrible. Listen, I used to watch baseball in the 90s when everybody was jacking home runs like nobody's business.
You're a big baseball fan? Go see a AA. Go watch
it. Yeah, right. Yeah.
I want to see fucking people rock them out of the park, dude. I don't want to see that shit.
Yeah. So when they came down with the steroid thing on baseball, and people weren't hitting 60, 70 home runs a year anymore, it just got boring. I just stopped watching it because I'm not a hardcore fan. I was a general fan,
They're cranking them out nowadays.
Are they really?
No, I mean, yeah.
Do you remember how fast the ball would leave the stadium in what was it, San Francisco?
Yeah.
When Bonds was there, it was like a missile. It was gone in like under 2 seconds. It was insane.
Was it Bonds? It was Sosa. And who's the other one?
McGuire.
Fire.
Yeah. But Bonds to me was the most impressive. Remember there would be guys out in that little bay area in like canoes and shit, waiting for the ball. Yeah, waiting to get one of his balls. But it was a bullet, and his bat swing was insane.
Yeah.
And the other thing that a lot of people don't realize is that the pitcher wouldn't give him the pitcher wouldn't give him anything easy to hit, right? He's trying to pitch around him.
These guys want to win.
Or walking them, or whatever the case may be. So he'll get like maybe one.
You think the pitchers are innocent?
No. I'm saying like he might get like one or two good pitches a night, and the guy fucking finds it.
You ever try throwing seven innings?
Yeah.
Trying to do it 3 days later?
Yeah, no, I understand.
Guys aren't recovering without some sort of
Yeah, but no, don't they take them out like after like 5 or 6 innings, and they have a mid reliever and they have a closer and all that shit?
They do, but if a guy's hot, they leave him in for.
Yeah, that's true.
They leave him in.
I understand. Yeah,
it all depends on the performance. Dude, look, any professional athlete to do what they do at that level, and if they're doing it naturally, God bless them, because their careers aren't gonna last.
Yeah.
And this is such a game now, but it's all about pleasing the people. It's all about, they want to see home runs, right? In football, now the games are directed towards the quarterbacks when they used to be about the running backs. I just saw a thing about that. How running backs used to make more money, and now it's all about a passing game because people want to see high scores. So, dude, everything is catered to the viewers, dude. Everything is a
Yeah.
business.
Right.
And for you to talk about Regan Grimes like it's any different.
No, yeah, I'm glad I'm glad you came around and you agree with me now.
Well, dude, I don't know if that's true or not, but dude, I'm not saying it's politically motivated, but I'm not arguing the fact that
just saying that it's just saying that it's a very strong possibility.
I think he's got a great physique. I hope he comes in better and sharper and could dial it in better for the Olympia. Because he's one of those guys, dude, that you kind of want to see do well because he's a good spokesman, for the sport.
Oh yeah, there's no question about it. I have a feeling that Regan Grimes is going to be. This is just my feeling. I don't think he's ever going to be a top 5 Olympian. I think he has.
Here's what
I think he has the physique where he can move into the top 10, but I don't think he can go any further than that. This is my opinion.
I think Regan Grimes has a physique that he could be competitive, right? And work his way up because he's young, dude. He's still young.
Oh yeah. Right? Yep.
But my point is, when you see a guy like Regan, who handles the training well, handles the prep well, needs to still work on a couple finishing touches, right? But he's new.
Yeah.
Handles the supplementation well because he doesn't look like a guy who's suffering from severe side effects from using whatever he's using.
Okay.
So he is genetically blessed, right? But somebody like a Sean Ray or somebody who's been there for a good 8 to 10 years, who's made great consistent progress and moved up the rankings, and he has something to offer the sport because he does generate a crowd. He does get people talking. Dude, I've been talking about him for 2 years with you.
Absolutely.
He's good. Where some of these other guys, dude, look at Ian.
Yeah.
God,
I think
32,
32
done.
He's saying he wants to start a family with his wife or something.
Well, dude, and good for him. And I'm not shitting on Ian, but he had one of those physiques that dude, it's tough doing this shit, dude.
I could only imagine. Yeah.
He had injury and apparently some kind of nerve damage issues and stuff, and his body just was not working. He was progressively getting worse. So he made the right decision.
I think so too. Yeah.
And there's guys that are going to be in and out because they don't handle it well, and there's going to be guys that you want to see that, climb up the ladder. And I think Regan has a kind of physique that he will continuously get better and better and work his way in placings. No,
I agree. I just think
he has the potential to be a top 5 Olympia guy in the next couple of years.
Really?
3 years.
What's today's date? 9/22. No, today's 20th. Right?
2023. My wife's birthday.
Really?
Happy birthday, baby. Love you.
Oh, that's very nice. Happy birthday, Stacy. That's very, very nice. Oh, okay.
Pissed at you for making me very upset.
Regan.
She said, "You're buying dinner next time because if I had to do the podcast on her birthday tonight."
No problem. You got no problem. I will absolutely.
She loves you. Knock it off. Okay.
I was gonna say I will absolutely do that. Regan will be a top 5 Olympian in 3 years.
In 3 years, yeah.
Or Regan will not be a top 5 Olympian.
Oh, you're gonna run
in 3 years
survey?
Yeah, and I am no. I'm gonna 3 years from now, and when we're still doing this on September 20th, 26, we're gonna see who's right.
My wife's birthday in 3 years.
yeah. We're gonna see who's right. That's it. Okay. I don't know. We'll bet on something in 3 years, and we'll include the inflation rate.
Inflation rate.
Oh yeah. Speaking of betting, I had to buy amino acids because I lost.
What was that about?
But so what happened was I have two other YouTubers, Mark's Max Muscle and EP09, and they're two other bodybuilding YouTubers. And we did several collaborations together, and we've gotten pretty friendly. So now we do, like shows before a show, and then we like kind of bet on it. So I lost. So we would discuss the first show. I think it was Texas, and this guy, the guy Kenson from EP09, he won. So me and the other guy had to buy him a goat t-shirt, said goat, and then the other guy, he won this time around. So we said, one of the EP09 said, "Oh, you like I Prevail subs, John? Why don't we just, buy somebody an I Prevail subs item?" I said, "All right, cool." So the other guy, his name is Mark. He has Mark's Max Muscle. He takes aminos. So I bought him the amino because he lives in Canada. Yeah. So I bought the aminos for him, and I'm shipping it to Canada because he won. So I didn't think you shipped to Canada.
I do. Actually, I do.
Well, I'll end up the next time. So
I mean, but it's the same price as what you would pay for shipping.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
For anything international, they have to pay the shipping.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
Otherwise, I would lose money on the product.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't want to do that today. Oh well, I didn't know that. I didn't know you could, but yeah, no, I get it. So, well, I would have just paid for it anyway, even if you shipped it to Canada, because I would have ordered it and paid for it. All right. So either way, it doesn't matter. I would have paid for it. All right. Yeah. So I just got to go to FedEx this weekend and send them the aminos.
Do Postal.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Much cheaper.
Really? Yeah. What about Postal. What do you call? What about
Trust me, dude. I price that shit all day long.
What about speed? How fast does it get there?
Well, it's got to go through customs, but I've shipped stuff in single unit items like that. Do they go through quick? A week.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'll do that then. All right, and that's about it, dude. So thank you very much. Oh, and if anybody's interested, go on my other channel, because I had a really good interview with a retired high-ranking member of the Mongols. Oh
shit.
Yeah, and it's a Serious Insulinous Outcast. It's my other channel. It's the last one I just did. It went up yesterday, and then I had a short clip, like a 10-minute clip of him and I talking about, the problems between the Hells Angels and the Mongols. And then the entire interview is about an hour, 15 minutes long. So it's up there, and he didn't go into extreme detail, but he went into detail enough where it's really interesting. The biker world is really, really interesting, and I didn't know this. And he said, because I said to him, he said that he's had friends die from angels, and then he's had angels die from Mongols and so on and so forth. And it was, blah, blah, blah. And they said, there's been times where they tried to like come together and like just bring peace, and he said, the biggest problem was that they have a national law. So the guy at the top across the entire country, if he says, we're cool with the angels, we're cool. That's it. In San Diego, in New York, wherever. But the angels apparently every club operates a little bit different. So they might be cool with you in LA, but they're not in New York. And then once, New York puts hands on the Mongols, then it's all off. So it's always a political problem. So, but it was pretty interesting. You got to check it out. It's pretty good. Talked about prospecting. He talked about, beefs. He talked about motorcycles. He talked about being in jail, the whole deal. Anyway, just thought this is it. He wrote a book. That's it.
That's good. Dude, yeah. How many channels do you have?
3.
Fuck, dude.
One doesn't even the one I do the news on. It's all comedy, and it's like a Howard Stern kind of thing. I don't even concentrate on it. If I put something once a week up, it's a lot. It's literally girls with just giant boobs that I interview, like OnlyFans chicks with huge boobs that I interview, and then me and my friend doing the news. And it's like not even like we might get a little serious, but we're always goofing off, But this channel and the Outcast channel, I concentrate on these two the most. That's it. That's it, bro.
All right.
The hardest working YouTuber, bro. All right, dude. I'm gonna let you go. Thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it, man. And De La Rosa, you owe me, De La Rosa. All right, later.
Brother.